Right guys, welcome back. Picked up the Ramos box set and put them all together. I've based them, and as you can see they're also undercoated in silver. The reason why I went for the silver paint, it's the Army Painter Silver, is just because the majority of the bases are obviously metallic. These bases I picked up, I'll put a link in the show notes to the company that makes them. They're called Microart Studios. They're actually based out of Poland, I believe, and they're just amazing resin bases. They're not like anything else that's out on the market, and the level of detail on them is just incredible, and they're reasonably cheap as well, which is good. So there's this is all the stuff that comes actually in the starter box. You can pick up the starter box in Australia. They're about $50. Give or take about $5 depending on where you get them from. Once again, Malifaux is really good value. It's an excellent game. It's good fun to play, and it's pretty cost effective. So there's the Master Ramos. You also get three enough to do spiders, and here they are. What I've done on these is I've actually put a pin in the bottom of them. They're pretty flimsy, and the legs themselves aren't real strong, so I was a bit concerned about the longevity of these models. You don't want to spend hours painting these things and then have them break off in the first game you've got. So what I did was drilled out the bottom, put the pin there, and put them on the base. Basically, a tip for young players with these ones is that the legs are incredibly fragile, so the more points of contact you've got with the ground, the better. And the stronger legs I left hanging off the ground and give it a bit more dynamic pose. Again, these are the bases from Microart, and I'll show you a couple of those. What you get in the starter box is you get 6 of these spiders. Now, a couple of my mates actually put them together incorrectly. What you should be looking at doing is put 3 on individual 30mm bases, and then the other 3 combined, like you'll see in a second, on a single 40mm base. And the reason for that is if you look at the cards that come with it, these things in the game can actually come together and form the swarm. So 3 of them join together to form the swarm. So if you put them all onto 2 big bases, you're not going to have the individuals, which can be created from scrap counters by Ramos. And likewise, you're not going to be able to have the individual ones running around to form into the big swarm, or the swarm can scatter and go back to individuals. So make sure that you actually put those guys individually. Get this to focus. There we go. There's another one. Another example of these fantastic bases. They're really, really good. I'm really happy with them. Another guy here. There we go. Top down view. And as I was saying, the swarm, put those up onto the bases. There we go. So you've got 3 on the actual base. Again, look at the detail on these bases. They're just absolutely awesome. You can see the depth there, how 3D they are. The pit, you've got the manhole cover that's come off, the pipes and the like. They're really good. I think they're going to paint up quite nicely. For those of you that watch some of my other videos, you would have seen the sort of weathering effect that I utilised on the Firestorm Armada stuff. I'm going to do something very, very similar for this, with a lot of light sourcing as well. I'm thinking in these deep recessed areas. You can see down in here, you've got some things that look like lights and vents and that, so I'm going to have some light sourcing sort of down in there, spraying around. And if I can get the camera set up in a way that'll actually stay focused whilst I paint, I'll definitely do a tutorial on one of these, maybe even this model here, on how I achieve that weathering effect, and do the various light sources and stuff like that on the models, and hopefully that'll help you guys out. I've experimented a bit with trying to paint and have the camera, but I can't get the camera to remain focused at the moment, so I'll continue experimenting and hopefully show you that. Now the piece de resistance is the big boy that comes in the box set. Here's the Steamborg Executioner, just absolutely incredible model, and the base that I've gotten for this 50mm base is just absolutely amazing. The level of detail on this thing, the way it stands off. Now again, this model to put together was fairly easy, but just for extra strength, you can see I've put the pin, you can see it in there, through the base, so that way it's rigid and it's straight on there, and I've pinned all the way through up into the body, so it's one single piece, and then added the legs at the end, so the legs aren't bearing the weight, and they're also not going to have any problems. So there's the Steenborg Executioner. This bad boy in the actual game is a bit of a death machine, as you could imagine. He looks pretty nasty, and he certainly is in the game. And again, use a similar sort of paint scheme where I'm going to weather it and have all the chip paint and the like and some light sourcing all over it. So anyway, that's the Ramos box set. That's what comes in it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll do the next video on some of the other pieces I picked up, and hopefully be able to get a painting tutorial as I work through these guys. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully got something out of it, and I'll catch you later.